there aren't too many games during the midweek that we refer to as being important or anything like that, but you keep momentum going. It's a good RPI win. You get you get it done. And it was an arduous task to say the least, but uh, listen, they were far more patient. We talk a little bit about the oddity of this team's offense. Um, 11 walks, man. It ain't pretty to watch. Strikeouts and walks aren't pretty to watch, but they do speak to an approach, and you'd like to have more of those than you do the K's, and they did last night, and that's good. And the bullpen was good again, and again, I don't, a guy I don't know what to think about, Tom, because obviously Alex has got a ton of power, but Terrell just drives me nuts. Obviously, last night not a great night for him, but there's a guy that he kind of, to me, he's a great representation of this team. Things you like, power to all fields. I know there's no such thing, quote unquote, in baseball as the clutch gene, but that's a guy that has hit some really important home runs, really big hits in general, to go along with that propensity to strike out in an ugly fashion. Just here's 3 pitches, not close to any of them. Okay, have a good one.
Yeah, he looks wound too tight at times. Just put it that way. I don't know that we're always the loosest team in the batter's box, and he would be the first example I would cite to say, man, he just does not look like there's a lot of thoughts that he's processing while he's looking for his pitch, and then he gets mixed up and he's in between, and you could just see it all over his face, and you go, oh, man. That's typically something that happens when a hitter's in a slump at the major league level, but it happens a lot with him.
Yeah.
A lot.
And then when he finds his way out, you're like, oh, this could be good for a while. It is, and then he goes,
it kind of is. Yeah.
Not for real long.
But if he's up, even though it's like 8 out of 10, and here comes a K, you're like, the other 2 are going 450 plus.
Yeah, there's a chance. So the news of the day really wasn't about Florida State yesterday. It was nice that obviously Florida State got the win. It's important. Helps their RPI, continues the win streak. They've played very well as of late against good teams, so that's important, and that's good to know. I want to get to something different, which was kind of a puzzling sort of moment. I think more coaches should do this. I brought this up recently with our own coach, but Jay Wright retired at Villanova, and with Coach K having stepped down on the heels of Roy having stepped down, you kind of looked around college basketball. There are a few huge names, but Jay Wright might have been the biggest of the coaching names that remain, right? There's a few.
Certainly with the aptitude to go along with it. Because Boeheim's a big name, but he's completely ruined his legacy. Well, it's just awful what's going on at Syracuse.
Right. And
terrible.
You're heartbroken, I know. Jay Wright was 520 and 187 overall with 2 national titles and a bunch of Final Fours over the years, and including this year with a team that had no business going to the Final Four. And he's that kind of elite level coach. And so when you hear about his retirement, still looking dapper, still looking smooth, always. I quickly looked when I saw that announcement that he was retiring and thought, how old is Jay Wright? Because he's a good looking dude. So you don't know. He keeps himself together. He's 60. So
he's also the most fedora ready basketball coach in America. You could put a fedora on him and plant him in 1937, and it works. It fits.
Yeah. But were you, let me ask you, I was trying to find a comp to Jay Wright retiring. So who's a guy that had sustained success over a very long period of time that had recently had success? So his career wasn't waning. It wasn't like at the end of Bowden's career. We've seen a lot of coaches have this happen where you go, okay, the game's probably passed them by. It's probably time to move on. Some know when to get out, some don't. But we lament that and talk about it a lot. But then there are guys that get out and you're like, ooh, I didn't see that coming. My man won 12 games last year and, made the college football. The answer is Pop Stoops. Because where I can tell you, just because I have family members that went to OU, and people who listen to this show on a regular basis know, but for those that may be new listeners, Oklahoma is kind of my second team. I have family that grew up there, family that went there. My family had a farm in Okima, Oklahoma, middle of nowhere. Anyhow, grew up as a little kid going out there to visit. So I like Oklahoma. If you're tied into OU, there were Oklahoma fans starting to get annoyed with Bob Stoops. He was almost a victim of his own success, which I say usually is impossible. But they had sustained so many great seasons that weren't cashed in with a national championship at the end. Of course, he beat us for a national championship, unfortunately, in a game I was at. But nonetheless, he hadn't done it lately. And people were like, all right, yeah, the Big 12's not great. You win it every year, and that's cool. I mean, Texas would like to win a Big 12 title every now and again, but you could wrap this up with a national title or two here in the near future. They were starting to get antsy, but nonetheless, when you in retrospect look back, go, yeah, dude was winning 12 games every year. He pretty much won the rivalry every year, won the conference every year, goes to the college football playoff. Yeah, they would lose there, but it's tough to get there, And then he abruptly retired after 18 seasons when he looked like he had a lot of success that lay in front of him still to come. Same with Jay Wright. He just went to the Final Four. He's 60. He's been there 20 years, 21 years. Just went to the Final Four, had a good team. His team stuck together when a lot of other teams see these transfers happening. Why do I bring it up? There are many people, the first thing that they thought when they read that Jay Wright was retiring is, getting a little long in the tooth, wants to scratch that itch, take it to the NBA. He's won a couple national titles, Final Fours. I've done everything I could do in the college game. Why don't I take it on down the road to the NBA and see how I would fare there? The ultimate test, right? Turns out, looks like that's not true. He's not interested in the NBA.
He's going to be the head coach in waiting here in Tallahassee.
Well, maybe he knew Leonard was on the cusp of retirement. He wanted to take a year to be with his family so he could jump on board and be refreshed. I see where you're angling. I like it. Like where your head's at, buddy. No, most people believe that he is walking away for the reason that a lot of other people might be on the verge of walking away from the game. And that is that the new frontier, quote unquote, the new frontier of college sports, chaos. Folks think it's completely out of hand. And they're not talking solely about the NIL. The NIL is, as we've noted, and many people have obviously been frustrated by, it's the transfer portal. It's in basketball. It's a nightmare. You look at all these teams. It's just boom, boom, boom. People all over the place. You got a guy that's all American, then he jump ship. It's crazy what's happened in the world of college basketball. And if you think about it, if I'm 60 years old, and I can see it from where I sit, I'm 50. If I'm 60 years old and I've got a lot of money and I've got my health and I did what I always wanted to do for a career and got paid handsomely for it, and I've got some things I'd like to do with family, friends, and whatever in terms of traveling, maybe it's just to play golf every day, whatever it might be, why wouldn't you walk away? Because trying to navigate the new and the seismic shift is difficult for anybody, especially when you're 60 and comfortable, because you don't have to. You don't have to. I don't have to do this. I used to say this with Bowden. I'm like, it's a young man's game. You did all you could, coach. You've created a legend that it will never be, it's never to be ignored. You're one of the greatest, if not the greatest coach of all time. What else is there to do? Call it a day. Now, some of these guys, they don't know anything else. It's what they do. They love it. It's passion. They want to do it. But, man, I would be Jay Wright. And I think more people are going to be an awful lot like Jay Wright. And I brought this up the other day because I said, and I remind folks, Leonard Hamilton's going to be 74 in August. He loves it. He looks young. He's in great shape. But 74 is 74. How much longer is he going to stay? I think a lot of coaches are going to begin to walk away, that the headache's going to be a bit much. Now, ours will walk away for the very obvious reason. He's getting up there. He's in the twilight of a career. But I think you'll see more successful younger coaches who don't want to play the game, who don't want to have to re-recruit their own guys every year. Like, it's a bridge too far for some of these guys. They're just going to go, man, I've made a killing. I'm not doing this anymore. It was hard enough to do recruiting as it was.
Well, you know that there are different renewable scholarship agreements. Sometimes it's 4-year guaranteed. Sometimes it's 1 year, and it just keeps on getting renewed year after year. I wonder if that's going to become part of the equation with the transfer portal. If You want to be on a 1-year renewal basis because you want to keep your options open, that's fine. But you can sign a 4-year agreement to be here at Florida State because this is where you want to educate yourself. This is where you want to set your roots. This is whatever the reason. And I wonder if that becomes a part of the discussion, like as in how we would cover signing day. Well, this young man signed a 4-year NLI today. It's a 4-year NLI.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. These guys are all 1 years. These guys are the 4 years. Here's a 2-year, whatever it is. But I wonder if that has to enter into the equation at some point, because if we're going to have rulings in the future that suggests that perhaps these athletes are university employees, which is the next debate to come.
Yeah.
Then at that point, if they're employees, they have to sign contracts, not contracts to play football, but contracts of non-competes, or you're tying to yourself to an institution long-term before you even get into discussion about NIL. Lawyers are making a ton of money off of this situation, and they're going to continue to do so. It's just a matter of how are we going to talk about it in a year or two, because I don't think it's going to be exactly the same as we're talking about it right now. It's not sustainable for so many reasons.
Yeah, I'm with you. You just wonder how many guys at the upper crust, at the tail end, or back end, at the very least, of their careers are going to stick around to see it play out.
Right.
That's what I'm asking.
My concern is how many younger coaches, like somebody who's Mike's age, right, are going to have success and then say, I'm taking the first opportunity I can get to be a coordinator at the NFL level, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just a head coach, but because I don't want to deal with this 365. If I can get something close and I could get into the machine of the NFL, there are so many fewer headaches.
I have said for a long time now that the job of the NFL, which is a hard one to get, I mean, you have to be an elite coach, you have to be as well thought of as there is, but if you can get the gig, it's a better job. It's right now. And I never would have said that.
Right.
Back in the day, I would have wanted to be a college coach through and through. I love it. Everything about it. It's just everything about the game I loved more. But I don't know. It's gone the direction of pro sports, which you could argue behind the scenes it always was. But it's gone certainly the direction, but without some of the benefits.
Yeah, without the constraints.
Without the constraints and the benefits.
Yeah.
Like, now, all of a sudden, I mean, these guys, we see it. We get to cover this up close and personal. I used to marvel, and I've marveled ever since the shift in college football has happened. Really, it became apparent to me at the end of the Bowden era and when Jimbo took over, that guy worked 24 hours a day, all day, every day. And, yeah, the salaries are such that, you're handsomely rewarded for that work ethic. But that's not – it's not surprising when these guys, and I'm not just saying Jimbo Fisher because he was in our backyard and we covered it and we know what happened, but it's not surprising that you read about these guys going through divorces, having problems with stability in their home life in general. If you're never home because you can't be, because you want to win, you can't sustain any of that. You can't sustain friendships. You can't sustain a marriage. You don't have a life. You're not a well-adjusted person. You're paid handsomely to be a twisted, messed up person. That's what it is. You're paid handsomely to be screwed up. Like, we're going to give you $7 million. You're not normal. You can't be. I need you to work your ass off all the time, year round. And now we're going to throw some more stuff on your plate. Now you better figure out how to do the dance without actually doing the dance of making sure that there's a third entity paying players to come see you. Like, you got to do all of this other stuff now. And it was already really difficult. I just think both in college basketball and college football, you're going to see guys like the way I would almost view it now coming out of high school. If I were a high school coach going into the college ranks, let's say I was a rising star in coaching. The way I would almost view it now is, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I got it. I'm 20-something years old. I've had some success, won a state title wherever I was, right? And now I've got an opportunity to join so-and-so staff, and I'm going to rise through the ranks. I'm going to work my ass off. You're right. That's what I'm going to do. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do to this end. I'm going to work from 24 to 40 as hard as anybody's ever worked in their life, and I'm going to make a gazillion dollars doing it, and then peace out, bitches. I'm done. You'll never see me again. Like, you got it. The second part of that life, you've got to cash it in. You got to be able to reap the reward of being so maniacal and having no other interest or life about you.
Yeah, if I'm 24 and I'm in that position, I still think by the time I'm 30, the system's going to be different. It just, you can't. It cannot sustain.
Right.
For so many reasons. You don't want to lose the coaching talent. The coaches themselves are going to revolt against it. The booster organizations, whatever. The players forevermore are going to be paid, and rightly so. But it's just a matter of what are the regulations, because you're talking about the transient nature of the college athlete.
Crazy.
That has to the moment they get paid, it should be more restrictive on transfers.
Right.
Because now you're getting money, but there are still rulings to come about whether the university employees
and that's
or not,
why,
and that kind of stuff.
And that's why the guys on the back end here who are at the end of their careers, who've made the money and had the success, like a Jay Wright, who's got 2 national titles in his back pocket and has made $1 gazillion, why not walk away? I'm not waiting. Just screw this.
Well, the rules are going to change every year, fundamentally. If your compliance department's going to be like, okay, remember what we said last April? Doesn't matter. Here's what's going on this April. Here are the new rules.
Did you read the Athletics piece? I think it was Seth Davis who wrote it, but there's a part there that I thought, man, that's it right there in a nutshell. He wrote, during a time of great instability, what with the transfer portal, the encroachment of quasi-professional leagues, the new paradigm governing or not governing name, image, and likeness, Wright was supposed to be college basketball's Rock of Gibraltar, if I could speak. It's hard not to be dramatic in the wake of such dramatic news. Wright's unexpected departure raises troubling questions. Is this a case of one man deciding he's had enough of the coaching life, or is Wright the proverbial canary in a coal mine? Like, is this going to set forth the domino? And he goes on to say in that article that there has been a shift when he does interviews with coaches now. Rather than conversations or interviews about his players, the team, the program, college basketball in general, he says, more and more when you call to talk to these coaches, it turns into a therapy session where they talk about how impossible it is to know what your team's going to look like from year to year because guys are coming and going left and right. You've got no stability, and that it's maddening. And you see it here. It's happened with Leonard.
But I just hope that happens to Brian Kelly more than any other coach. Just of all the coaches that are in college football, it should happen to him the most.
Yeah, I just think coaching chews you up and spits you out. It's a brutal industry.
If Petrino was still coaching, I'd say him too.
Yeah.
Him too.
No, it's going to be fascinating to watch it. It's something, you need to acknowledge. It's a big story. That's a big story to see him walk away. And he kind of was, along with about 3 or 4 other guys. The horribly too-paid Bill Self is on the list of coaches that would be seen as kind of the heir apparent to Coach K and others.
Well, as they're under investigation for serious infractions.
Oh, but don't let that get in the way of that celebration if you're Jim Nantz. Talk about what a rewarding...
I'm going to give him my time.
What a maker of men. Okay. Yeah. It's Jeff Cameron, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Physical stress on our bodies can take its toll as the years go by. Whether you're looking to get back into an old sport or just want to spend more time outdoors to explore all life has to offer in our beautiful city, the dedicated team at TOC is here for you every step of the way. You can trust TOC for all your orthopedic needs. And now, scheduling an appointment has never been easier. Just visit teamtoc.com and click schedule online. That's teamtoc.com.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states. Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
goodness.
Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Let's be honest, we all have way too much stuff. Maybe your storage closet is full, your garage is full, or the guest bedroom is a mess. Call Southeast Portable Buildings, 580-6400, or visit them online at southeastportablebuildings.com.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Here we go. Your next chance to grow your green this spring and win $1,000 is coming up at 2 p.m.
I just won $1,000.
Listen for the keyword at the top of the hour. Then enter that keyword online at realtalk93.com. Cameron Show brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Do it in May, I do believe.
What's that? Sorry, I was conversing with the director on this segment that was coming up.
W's and L's.
We promised to do one last week, though, and we did not.
We
did
said
not
we were going to do
deliver on
it
that
this
promise.
week. We said we were going to do it in April.
We said we were going to do it last week, post spring game. Basically, it was our post spring game version of W's and L's, and we were going to do it before the golf tournament, but we did not. It's on me. Should have reminded us.
Yeah, but it's a floater. I mean, that's W's and L's kind of floating. So whenever we want. Now, the reason I acknowledge Gabe's request for W's and L's is that he also said that he read an article that I read earlier today, which was that ESPN had a way too early college football top 25 revision, where they went back and said, okay, now that we've seen some things in the transfer portal and springs happened and all that other stuff, let's take a look at this. And he lamented aspects of it. I did too. I read this today. And it's funny where his head went, because I think it's where a lot of the fan base looked. If you go backwards, let's start at 25 and move our way up. Two things I did. A, let's look at the names of the teams and see if we agree, disagree, because it's a list and we're required to, as men, to look at lists.
And if it's 25th and up, then you're going, are we 25th?
Right. You start down there.
Fooled this person?
Well, I want to start down there because we were more likely in that direction. Yes, so I was like, maybe start at 25. Maybe I'll get to 23. There we are. Yeah, no, we're not in the top 25. We're not. Couldn't find us. And then, unlike the actual top 25 that comes out every year in the AP and coaches and all that, there was no others receiving votes. So I don't know if we were even on somebody's radar or not. But there sat Iowa at 25. Whatever. So my point was, I looked at this and thought, okay, well, all right, let's look at the amount of teams on this revised top 25 and see how many of them we play. This is for W's and L's purposes, just like taking a look. And then also, let's look at some teams that are ranked and then ask ourselves repeatedly, how is it that those sorry asses are ranked and we're not? Why? Over and over again, why?
Because.
And here it was. How many times over the course of these names that I lay bare here now do you say, that ought not be? They're there and we're not. You don't do it with every team. Some teams, like, oh, well, they should be there. They absolutely deserve to be there. That's a quality program sustained for a very long period. You're not mad that Alabama's on the list. You kind of, I get it. Yeah, I know the answers to that. They've invested. The Bama table's real, has been for a long time. So there's Iowa. Then there's Tennessee. Oh, Tom, I must have recoiled the second I read this.
Surely you jest.
For all of the talk, and I know it was year one, for all of the talk about, oh, here comes Tennessee. They got things moving in the right direction. Oh, Josh Heupel, all this. They went 7-6. Let's calm the hell down. They weren't any good. They went 7-6. But there they sit, ranked 24th in the revised preseason top 25. Number 23, Cincinnati. Okay. 13-1, went to the college football playoff. You lose to Alabama, no shame. We'll see. I mean, you lose Desmond Ridder. I don't know that I would think that they're going to be an elite team, but 23rd is not elite. So, okay, sustained recruiting at Cincinnati. That's not okay, Tom.
Oh, I'm getting mad over here.
Okay. Number 22, Kentucky.
Oh, no.
Yes. Lest we forget, Kentucky went 10-3 last year, Tom.
Could have had Mark Stoops.
10-3.
Could be here.
10-3.
Right now.
They had a winning record in the SEC. 21, Ole Miss. They too went 10-3. Losing Matt Corral will hurt. I kind of get the Ole Miss thing. I can live with that. Lane cheats his ass off everywhere he goes. He stepped foot on campus, began instantly cheating in every way possible. I got it. All right, fair enough.
Kind of okay these days.
Yeah, well, these days it is. But he'll cross that line. He's an habitual line stepper. He'll do what's now okay and then a lot more for sure. Like, even though it's okay to pay players now, he'll pay them and give them coke. Like that's he can't help himself. He'll be like, oh, we're allowed to pay him now? Well, what else can we do? Hookers and coke? Okay, let's do that. Let's get hookers and coke in here. We got to do,
Vending machines are everywhere.
But we don't need to do that, Lane. We don't. But I want to. I feel compelled to. Arkansas. Now that one hurts.
Didn't Hugh leave a phone number on the wall of the coach's bathroom? Didn't he write in Sharpie on the wall?
Sam Pittman's done a great job at Arkansas. There's no getting it. Yeah. There it is. I was waiting. But they lose Traylon Burks. That's a big deal. We'll see. They've done a fine job. He's done a great job, actually, for Arkansas. Then there's BYU. Again, why? Here you go. Here's another one. Baylor. All right.
Jesus.
All right. Wake. On the schedule.
Of course.
It's they won 11 games. They won 11 games last year, Wake Forest did.
And the quarterback's 40 years old and coming back.
Yeah, he's back. They've got an elite linebacker. They got a good quarterback. They got
I hear Dick Butkus is still there.
They won 11 games. 11. Come on, man. Oregon. Okay. All right. We'll see. They're on their way down. And they're losing Thibodeau.
This whole list is maddening.
Well, Oregon's paid to be there. They've done well. Pitt. Number 15.
Pickett, no problem.
Number 15. Yeah. Well, they won 11 games also. By the way, they also won the ACC. Damn it, man. What in the world? Pitt's out here. I've been to that campus more than once. They don't even care. What are we doing? Oklahoma. Fair enough. Houston. 13. Houston. I don't know how it escaped me because I never believe in Houston ever. Those bastards won 12 games last year.
Isn't that Holgerson?
Yes, crazy-haired Holgerson. 12 wins. They've been, quote-unquote, very active in the transfer portal. USC, 12. All right, obviously we know the coaching shift there. Lincoln Riley goes, and so, by the way, I said shift just for everybody.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. They remembered they were USC, finally.
Yeah. Clemson's 11, yes, on the schedule. So that's what 3 teams so far on the schedule. Oklahoma State. No. What are we doing? They too won 12 games last year.
We're sucking in Tallahassee. That's what we're doing.
That's exactly what we're doing. Michigan 9, Michigan State 8.
What? Oh yeah, they did big time in the either recruiting or the NIL program they built. It's something crazy, right?
Well, they've done a great job.
Michigan
They won
State.
11 games. I mean, they were really good.
But apparently I think they're building an NIL program that allows people to overlook East Lansing and say, well, you know what though? The benefits package is amazing.
They've brought in an awful lot of players. You're right, correctly. They got a UNLV kid, a Mississippi State kid. They brought, yes, they've done very well in the transfer portal. They get after it. They got a kid from Wisconsin within the Big Ten. They're like, oh, come on over here. Screw Wisconsin. It's boring. So there you go. NC State, yes, we play NC State. Yes,
Here's our rubber
yes,
factory.
yes.
Look at this. Isn't it amazing?
NC State's 7th. Preseason 7.
Okay.
You can get mad. Dude.
So 3 teams in our division are preseason top, what is it, 17 or 18?
Top 18.
How does that impact your W's and L's?
Well, it does, doesn't it?
You go 2-1 against those teams, and we're ranked 15th in the country.
It impacts your W's and L's, and it impacts your psyche. It's like, man, this is ridiculous. Your feeling of worthiness is beginning to fade.
Well, it's a COVID legacy. It's a bunch of BYUs out here. You got a bunch of dudes that are 24, 25 years old still playing college ball.
Kicking ass elsewhere. Notre Dame is 6. And then there's the Fighting Jimbos at 5. Utah 4.
Utah?
Well, I won big money on Utah last year. That's a fine program, Tom. Don't you besmirch Utah.
4, though? They're in position for the playoff in the preseason poll?
Yeah, I mean, they did quite well. Pac-12 champions. Pac-12 champs.
Whatever that means.
Pac-12 champs is what it means. As preseason predicted by this guy in the college sports book.
Very different things. Yes, for betting purposes, Pac-12 champions. There you go. Richard Simmons.
As guessed before the season began.
In the grand scheme of college football, Pac-12 champions. Okay. Congrats.
They'd beat our ass. They would beat our ass.
Oh, anybody would.
Well, not anybody, but they would beat our ass.
The champion of the AAC would give us a run.
Well, yeah.
The Sun Belt champion.
Yeah. Southern Conference. Etsu was good last year. That'd have been game.
Oh, man.
That was good.
Randy? Although he quit, though, didn't he?
He called it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But had a kick-ass season. Brian Stork was on the staff. Georgia's number 3. Okay,
very
fine.
Friendly staff.
Yeah. Bulldogs 3. Buckeyes 2. Bama 1. Yeah, sure. That's all fine. I can live with that. That's, yes. But damn it, man. Doesn't that just shake you up a little bit?
Utah at 4 really shakes me up.
NC State at 7 didn't piss you off?
Oh, it all does. I was having a nice Thursday. I'm just furious now. Appreciate it.
Life Spectator writes, other than Duquesne, does FSU have a decided talent advantage over any of their opponents? Too many 50-50 games on the schedule to feel confident about any prediction. So let's do that next. Not W's and L's. I'll tease you, but let's go through those teams and say yay or nay, a decided talent advantage over their foes. It's a good way for us to go through the schedule as well. I think I've got an answer that will maybe surprise you. So we'll do that next. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
2 separate overnight shootings in Tallahassee late Tuesday night left 2 people injured. The first incident happened around 10 p.m. when officers responded to Tallahassee Memorial Hospital for someone that had been dropped off and suffering from a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. The person was uncooperative and did not want to cooperate with the investigation. The second shooting happened around 11:45 p.m. in the 800 block of Floral Street when officers responded to calls of gunshots being heard in the area. Evidence showed that the person was shot from a passing vehicle and had non-life-threatening injuries. TPD has not identified identified suspects in either shooting. Suwannee County Fire Rescue Hazardous Materials team responded to a home where a person was injured due to mixing pool chemicals. SCFR would like to remind everyone that when adding or mixing chemicals to your pool, make sure to read all the labels and follow the directions. No further information was released. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. High temperatures reach up to 82 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies. Winds out of the east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows around 59 tonight, partly cloudy. Clear skies tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 84. Highs around 86 Saturday under sunny skies. 88 Sunday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 79.
The all-new Smitty's Tap House and Grill is now open. Smitty's reflects a deep appreciation for fine craft beers and tasty bar treats, with family recipes handcrafted by Smitty himself. Try the house-made giant pretzels, made from scratch mozzarella sticks, and some of the best cheesesteaks you've ever had. We're not even scratching the surface on what Smitty's Tap House and Grill has to offer, so be sure to visit Smitty'sTapHouse.com to check out the full menu. Smitty's Tap House and Grill on Thomasville Road, just north of Cary Forest Parkway.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Of 97 patients, 33 are vaccinated, and 63% are considered incidental.
See, this is what I'm upset about. He's basically made up the percentages to look like it's at 100%, but the two are not related to each other.
What's 37% of 97?
It's 35.89.
So why in the hell can't he literally ask iPhone to include that in his articles?
Maybe he's got an Android.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show is sponsored by the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans. Great rates, cutting-edge technology, and transparent communication is the recipe for a 5-star mortgage experience at FSUHomeLoans.com.
It'll hurt your feelings, right? When you do this. Here we go. We start with Duquesne. He said other than Duquesne, but I want to go ahead and just affirm that, yes, we have more talent than Duquesne. We do. No.
I tried. Everybody, I tried.
Well, you want to do a combo, W's and L's, with the question of talent. So we talk about the win or the loss and what we're overcoming specifically.
If we were going to do that, I would say that should be solving for the future on a Thursday.
Oh,
from our
next
friends
hour.
at ISF.
Next hour.
Yeah. But I don't know. You tease for this segment to do the.
Well, I tell you what, we can solve for the future with our friends from ISF next hour with W's and L's. I'm with you.
All right.
But let's do a little warm up and find out which of the rosters are more challenging than others.
Excellent.
That's how we do it. We work it out on the fly on the Jeff Cameron Show.
Yeah. Who needs production meetings when you have the air?
Yeah. So nice outside. We can't be meeting. Duquesne. Yes. And I'm doubling down despite your anger. I'm going to tell you that it is an impossibility for Florida State to lose to Duquesne.
There is a significant percentage of the fan base that got nervous. Significant percent when you said that.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
They don't even have a full allotment of scholarships at Duquesne.
Kyrie Irving double birds tour.
Yeah. No chance. Zero chance. In fact, poor Duquesne, not only A, ought not be on the schedule and Florida State should be ashamed of themselves, but B, and they should, B, listen.
Ain't no shame in this game.
Shame.
1-0.
Shame. Shouldn't even count.
Undefeated.
Hey, we're not doing W's and L's right now. Anyhow, So let me tell you, ashamed of themselves for scheduling this game. But secondly, Duquesne, unfortunate for them, are on the wrong end of what happened this past year. So now that Mike Norvell and staff suffered the greatest calamity in Florida State football history, and they engineered it by treating the game as a glorified scrimmage and experimenting with dumbass plays like having McKenzie out in a route. What are we doing? So
trying to complete a pass. I don't know what you're trying to do.
Straight lose to anyhow. So now that they've done, they'll never do it again, right? Now they know. So Duquesne, it's almost like we're going to take out the anger for our stupidity from a year ago on Duquesne.
Well, we kind of did with UMass too. There's
Oh.
another team that had no chance.
Yeah, it's coming up. It's gonna watch poor Duquesne, 77-7, still throwing it. Which fine, screw it. I've gotten so angry and embittered at this point. If you got a chance to beat people in an ungodly fashion because it's so rare around here anymore, do it. Run it up. I don't care if the guy bitches about it afterwards.
I've jumped into
Tell him to go pound
a
sand.
time machine from the future. I've got a stat for you from the game. Trey Benson, 4 carries, 123 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Done for the day.
Yep. Good. Well, fine. There's that. Florida State, LSU. LSU has more talent on the roster. Now, here's where it gets dicey. They do, Tom. Here's where it gets dicey. Louisville.
Well, they've got more experience because Malik Cunningham is 84 years old.
Year 7 as a starter.
Very spry.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Florida State defense has more talent top to bottom.
I do too.
If Mims was here, the answer might be yes.
But he's not. They're I think more talented at wide receiver than we are.
Probably. They just lost a kid, though.
Almost by definition, they're more talented than us at tight end.
Yes. Does that position have a
Does it
place on the
exist?
2 deep?
Does it exist? They have tight ends, then they're all more talented than ours.
Yeah.
I think we're probably more talented and deeper at running back.
Could be. Maybe.
But they got us at receiver and tight end. Their offensive line is better than our offensive line. I don't even have to look at them.
Probably a safe guess.
Yeah, for like eons. Yeah, that's a iffy, Tom. A tough one.
I'm going to take a look if I can pull up their PFF stuff.
By the way,
in a while.
Boston College does not have more talent than Florida State. They don't.
That's correct. That is correct.
They don't. Right. Does Wake Forest have more talent on their roster than Florida State? Not starting 22. Do they have more talent than Florida State does on their? I doubt it.
But isn't it a decided advantage? Wasn't that the burden
yeah.
here?
Well, no decided advantage there.
Yeah.
Definitely not a decided advantage. In fact, we're at a disadvantage against NC State.
Unfortunately.
I mean, they just are like really across the almost every spot. It's ridiculous. Yes. Quarterback, receivers, line. Yes. Defensive. Yes.
Can't believe that kid came back. In this year's NFL draft, this is the time to go early.
Clemson, yes, they have more talent than Florida State. All right. Georgia Tech does not have more talent than Florida State. And in fact, Florida State has a decided advantage in talent over Georgia Tech. Don't fool around and lose that one.
Correcto. We find ways with Georgia Tech.
I hate
in
that,
all sports.
For whatever
it's
reason.
Unbelievable.
I hate it. Miami has a more talented roster than us.
That's close, though.
Well, the point is there's no decided advantage.
Correct. But if you had the same burden for them, they'd have to concede if they're being fair, that they don't have a decided advantage.
Florida State has a decided advantage over Syracuse, does it not?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
They got a decent defense, but our defense is going to be all right.
Yeah. So I'm with you. Do we have a decided advantage now that a lot of the players left? Because if it were last year's team, the answer is no. But given what happened with their coach and players exiting, I think the answer is yes. Florida State has a decided advantage over Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns.
Should be.
I believe that is correct. And then obviously we do not have an advantage.
Until they're 8-0 and 14th in the country.
Well, we do not have an advantage over Florida. So
no, that's 5.
The question was, how many games do we have a decided advantage in? On talent. And we said Duquesne. Did we said Boston College?
You did.
Okay, Duquesne.
Now, it was before I reiterated about the decided. I think it's decided.
I
We
think it
beat
is
their
too.
ass last year in
Yeah,
their building.
I think it is too.
Come
I think-
on.
Yeah, the refs tried to keep them in it. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Duquesne, Boston College, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Louisiana.
Okay. 5-0.
All right, so those are 5 wins. Now we just got to find 3 more where it's iffy. That's why we circle that Louisville game so often.
Yes, that's key.
The Louisville game is the one you keep circling over and over again. You're like, okay, don't fool around and lose that one.
It's the
man.
fulcrum. And you could beat LSU.
Oh, you could. It could.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that you can't go 1-2 to start the year. You got to go 2-1. However it happens, you beat LSU and lose to Louisville, whatever. We're already penciling in the win against Duquesne. So you've got to find a way to be 2-1 through 3 games.
You know what that means?
Hmm.
We're going 1-2. Because that's what September's been to us. September.
Yeah, but we're starting in August.
There's no earth and wind. It's just fire. It's just all fire all the time.
It's hell on earth. Jeff Cameron, Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
At Epps Decorating Center, we're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help with all your painting projects. Benjamin Moore, available at Epps Decorating Center with 2 locations in Tallahassee. Find a store near you and visit EppsDecorating.com. That's EppsDecorating.com.
Howdy there, folks. Jeff Cameron here, inviting you to join me from 1 to 3 each and every weekday afternoon. We're live and local thanks to great sponsors like Hamilton Home Loans, a personalized mortgage loan experience built just for you and your needs. It's refreshingly simple at HamiltonHomeLoans.com. That's HamiltonHomeLoans.com.
When your AC unit decides to give up the ghost, it doesn't always pick the best time. But no matter what time, day or night, or day of the week, you can call E&B Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll be out to bring your AC unit back to life. We've been repairing and replacing heating and air conditioning systems in the North Florida and South Georgia area since 1974. So when your air conditioner stops working, call E&B Heating and Air Conditioning to the rescue.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Jeff Cameron Show is sponsored by the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans. Great rates, cutting-edge technology, and transparent communication is the recipe for a 5-star mortgage experience at FSUHomeLoans.com.
Then I'm going to get you these 8 wins. Duquesne, Louisville, Boston College, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Louisiana. And it gets tough. We're at 7. Yeah. Neutral site, LSU.
I got 3 words for you.
Road, Miami, no.
Suck it, Clemson.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Get you some.
Wouldn't
Roll on in here.
Hey.
In that losing streak, baby.
Couple of damn first downs and a 4-minute drill last year, and we would have done it.
We would have done it. We would have. On the road.
Took ND to overtime. Found a way to lose to Jacksonville State.
Schizophrenic.
Could have been an 8-win team last year.
Whoa, easily. Also won some really close games. Could have been a 9-loss team last year.
Yeah, it was okay that they didn't call a hold when Jordan scrambled against Syracuse. That was good.
That was a great no call. Let the boys decide it on the field.
That's right, and they did.
Hey, they've made some adjustments to the rules. Did you see that in the world of college football, buddy? I knew that was coming. It had to, because it was such a sorry thing that happened a year ago. But the picket rule is in place now. If you so much as flinch like you're going to slide, you're down. That's it. That's all. How long till an official misinterprets a juke?
Week 0, it will happen.
Yeah. I mean, we know how much they love to screw this up. I'm telling you, I can just picture this right now. The second somebody is just twisting to turn out of the way of a potential hit, they're going to be like, oh, nope, he was initiating a slide, and we're all going to be livid. And with Florida State's luck over the last several years, it will be in a close game that we're involved in, and it'll be a long run that's taken off the board, maybe a 50-yard run by Jordan Travis, in which they suggest, even though the replay will clearly show that that's not true, that he had begun to initiate a slide. The official, overzealous as he is, will step in, down it. We won't convert the first down. We lose by 3. We're angry for another year.
It'll be Gary Patterson, too. It'll be him.
It'll be Gary Patterson?
Yeah, that's the guy from Boston College last year.
That guy. He's furious with Florida State.
Yeah, we've had some run-ins. The game that Dalvin pulled his hammy against Wake Forest years ago.
That too was him?
That was him. That was an awful day. We ended up winning the football game, but that was another special brand of ACC officiating.
In addition to that article on the way too early revision top 25, there was an article today on the transfer portal, and 3,600 FBS players entering the portal in the last year. 3,600. And they talked about the process, and they spoke with players who did it and have gone through it. And they began with the Kedon Slovis kid, the quarterback at USC, who's now going to be at Pitt. And it cracked me up. So he was working out in Scottsdale, Arizona, where he's from. His dad texted him and said, "Hey, make sure you tell USC to officially put your name in that transfer portal," because they were hell-bent on getting out. So he had already moved off campus. USC had gone 4-8. They were ineligible for a bowl game, so he had left already. He was just working out, staying in shape. He gets that text from his dad. He texts that to the USC compliance officer. Says to USC's compliance officer, "Hey, put my name in the portal, like we had talked about, please." That guy says, "Okay, sure." He reaches down to get his dumbbells to finish the set. Got a phone call. Within 30 seconds of his name going in, Pat Narduzzi from Pitt. "Hey, brother, what's happening?" Was he just sitting
That's what yes, we have been on the other side of that equation, or on the front end of this trend. A lot of times kids say, "My name's in the portal minutes," and then there's Mike Norvell calling me. You have to have somebody who just sits there.
Yeah.
Just find somebody like people on Twitter who clearly don't work at their jobs and say, "We don't need you to do anything except stare at the internet."
Stare at the portal. And then if a name pops up that looks anything like a guy that can play, you please let me know.
This is what you do anyway. You do nothing, so do nothing for us.
Yeah, dude finished his curls. Phone's ringing. That's crazy. Hour 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
It's time for a chance to grow your green and win $1,000 cash plus a shot at a $10,000 grand prize. Here's your new keyword.
Road, R-O-A-D, road, R-O-A-D, road.
Enter that word now at realtalk93.com, and you might be the next winner.
Sweet girl, thank you. Oh my God. I just won $1,000. Hey, this is Monica. Hey, this is Elizabeth, and I just won $1,000. All right.
More of the Jeff Cameron Show is coming up next after this town hall news break on WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour at townhall.com. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. A new AP North poll shows many Americans do not think President Biden has been tough enough with Russia during its war in Ukraine.
54% of those who responded think the president needs to get tougher with Russia. Democrat Gregory Coney in Massachusetts says sanctions should have started sooner.
0 to 60, it should have started bang right away. You know, even when they was thinking about everything should have been already set up, ready to go.
Coney thinks delays may have been costly.
Maybe we could have saved more lives.
36% in the poll think the president's approach has been about right. 8% say he's been too tough. Support for U.S. involvement in Ukraine is waning. 32% of Americans say the U.S. should have a major role. Ed Donahue, Washington.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the U.S. will provide an additional $500 million in financial assistance to Ukraine.
To help Ukraine continue critical government operations such as salaries, pensions, and other social assistance programs necessary to avoid a worsening of the humanitarian situation.
President Biden today announced he's approved an additional $800 million in military aid to help Ukraine fight back against the Russian invasion. Applications for unemployment benefits inched down last week as the total number of Americans collecting aid fell to its lowest level in more than 50 years.
The Labor Department says jobless claims fell by 2,000 to 184,000 last week. The 4-week average of claims rose by 4,500 to 177,250. About 1.42 million Americans were collecting traditional unemployment benefits in the week of April 9th, the fewest since February 21st, 1970.
That's Jeremy House reporting. Right now on Wall Street, the Dow is off 113 points. More from townhall.com.
I'm about to compare a pepper shaker to a cash-out refinance. Hang with me. You know when you're at a restaurant and they ask, would you like some fresh ground pepper? And then they crank that giant tube, but almost nothing comes out? For me, only a certain amount of time is socially acceptable to wait. I know that getting that pepper out might make my life better, but it just seems too impossible. And that's what we hear people say about the cash-out refinance. People realize that the value of their home has gone up like hot pepper the last few years, leaving all this extra money sitting inside their home. But is it too hard to get out? It's Ryan from United Faith Mortgage. If you're interested in cashing out the extra pepper in your home, we're good at doing all the work while you just sit back and relax. And often, your mortgage payment and years in the loan will stay the same. If you'd like to hear about your options,
we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dr. Matthew Soon, the draft party 1 week from today. 1 week from today. Wow. You know, I saw an announcement today, and this is another reminder of not keeping up with things. You know this, Tom. It changes, but you're not old like me. You're getting closer and closer. But so here's the deal. You know, one of the things that happens is you get married. You kind of don't do as many of the things you used to do. In a good way, that's true, but also sometimes in a bad way. I don't keep up with the movies the way I once did. Now, that was mainly not because I got married, but because of kids. Once you have kids, you're like, oh, who's got time to sit around for 2 hours watching a movie? Now, at least at the theaters, right? So, long story short, what happens when you're not doing that as often is you don't know who anybody is anymore. So, people become stars in films over the course of several films, and you've never even heard of them. Never even heard of them. Like, who the hell is this guy? And then your kids go, you don't know who such and such is? You're like, nah. It would be like when I was young and my parents didn't know who Robert De Niro was. How do you not know who Robert De Niro is, Dad? What are you talking about? Well, what's he been in? What's he been in? You're furious. You can't even, what a ridiculous question. So that's my kids do that with me. With anybody that is a star under the age of 40, I'm like, I don't know who that is. I got nothing for who's this guy? I've seen him in something. Dad, he's in every Spider-Man. Well, that's why I don't know who he is, because I hate that stuff and I've never watched it. So, there's all that, right? Okay. So this cracked me up today. The NFL announced the headlining acts for the NFL Draft Concert Series. Lest we forget,
oh man,
it's in Las Vegas. So we're gonna have a blast in Las Vegas if we were gonna be out there for the draft, right? That'd be huge. So I was like, oh, I wonder who they're gonna have. Probably artists that I don't like, appreciate, have ever heard of. All of that, right? I was like, okay, because if they're skewing young, but then I started thinking they're not going to skew young. The draft is probably more geared towards people like you and me,
right? Middle-aged, old,
Yeah, middle-aged dudes, yep. White and black. It's not necessarily very specific in that way.
No, yeah, it's just dudes,
just middle-aged dudes who love the soap opera of the NFL, right?
30 to 70, anywhere in there. Really.
Yeah, but not 18-year-olds, not 24-year-olds, right? Yeah, I would think, right? And Matthew's an old soul, so he likes the draft. But I'm thinking most of the time, younger people don't really care to watch the draft.
I liked it in college, but I was a strange kid.
But you also, yes, and you're an old soul too, but also...
It was on Saturdays at noon.
I loved it.
That time.
It was like all damn day. I thought it was the greatest thing.
It was
Well, we used it as a drinking game as well and all that other stuff, yeah. Okay, so they said the NFL announced the headlining acts for the NFL Draft Concert Series in Las Vegas. The draft is April 28th through the 30th. And then, that got me giddy about the draft being so close, which I love. It's weird. Such a niche thing that I love. So, oddly, the Thursday night group is Weezer. Okay, well, obviously I know Weezer, and those first three records are great. Everything after that gets shaky. But, Weezer, fine, whatever. I thought that was interesting. That's a weird choice.
So the first three, Pinkerton, Blue Album.
Yes, and I can't remember the third.
The Green?
No, well, I'll have to pull it. No, I think it's the one, there may be one we're missing before the Green.
Okay. Maybe a self-title album.
Yeah. I'll go back and look.
I'll look up
if you hadn't put me on it. But anyhow, those are good records.
First concert I ever went to.
Oh, really?
Weezer, yeah.
Okay, so anyhow, Weezer. That's the Thursday one. All right. At the conclusion of round one, they're up. You know who's the next day? You know who the next day is at the conclusion of the draft on day 2 following round 3? You know who that is?
No.
Ice Cube.
Oh, really?
All right. Let's break out the Ice Cube after the draft. So we're going Weezer and Cube. I'm like, well, they are gearing this towards me. I mean, they are like 40 to 50-year-old white dudes. We got you.
I nailed it. Blue Album, Pinkerton, and Green Album. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
There you go. Good records. So there it is. Anyhow, so it's Weezer and Ice Cube. Now, that is an interesting choice. When they sat down, were they like, all right, now who are we getting to headline after these rounds of the draft out here in Vegas? Well, I vote for Weezer. Oh, good call, Johnny. What are we going to do after day 2? I think Ice Cube. All right, we're cooking with gas, boys.
That's a good
Okay,
spread over the genres here. If we're going Weezer, we can't exactly go with the Chili Peppers.
Yeah, we have to. So anyhow, those are the first 2, right? All right. Then the third act, the closeout day 3 of the draft. And I went, oh, okay. So they did sprinkle in somebody young because I have never heard of this person. And I'm going to admit this to my younger demo, which is going to be like, what are you talking about? But I want to know if you have.
Is it Diplo?
No, and I know who Diplo is. But you got another guess? I want to see where because I don't think you know this person either.
I mean, you would know Drake, so they ain't Drake.
Yeah. Oh,
and they wouldn't put him on day 3.
Also, God, no.
Ciara. No.
It is somebody named Marshmello.
Oh, it's a DJ guy.
I've never heard of Marshmello in my
Yeah,
life.
let me look him up, make sure I got it right. But
he's a DJ? Matthew, you're in your 20s, early 20s. Or mid 20s. Marshmello. You know who Marshmello is? All right. Never heard of Marshmello. They got me.
Yeah, you've seen him in commercials because he wears a giant like marshmallow head thing and it's got X's over the eyes.
Oh, the X's over the eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So he's not a DJ, he's a drug guy.
Both.
Well, they're synonymous, right? They have to be.
Oh, he played the Miami thing a million times. Whatever that's called.
The drug
Ultra.
thing.
Yeah, Ultra, I'm sure.
Is that a drug thing?
And maybe Coachella. Yeah.
Well, Coachella actually has real bands.
And,
the
come
music
on.
festivals in general going all the way back, obviously.
But this is like that hardcore, like that kind of stuff.
Ryan says he's 47 and he knows who Marshmello is. But could you name a song, Ryan? I don't think you could. I don't think you could not name a song.
Are they really songs?
Right.
Are they really?
No, this is a talentless man, I'm sure. But that is very modern. I mean, people are famous for being famous. Buckethead, by the way, is the other guy. Yeah. He said he named a song called Happier.
About to share some photos of Marshmello
on the chat here. So anyhow, I don't know who Marshmello is, but if you were going to be in Las Vegas at the end of day 3 of the draft, there will be There he is. There's Marshmello. Quite the gimmick. Is that also him down there in the left-hand corner?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Looking like Jared Leto's Joker.
Okay. There we go. Yeah. That dude may be dead by the time the draft rolls around.
He's been dead sober his whole life.
Marshmello?
No,
that's
the joke.
I thought that would have been amazing. Yeah, I'm definitely guilty by judging a book by its cover. As soon as I saw that picture of Marshmello, the big head, and then also who he is, what he really looks like, I was like, okay, my man's been at 700 raves. He's on X right now, hopping around like a rabbit with a pacifier.
So am I allowed to find
that glows in the dark?
Our Marshmello song that the YouTubers won't hear for the next return? Or no? Do you not even want to hear it? To start the next segment. No?
Go play it. Let's hear it.
I can't right now, but to return for the next segment after the break.
Is it
now that we're going to break now? I'm just
no. He's just I didn't know Marshmello. Just thought you should know. There you go. Laid it out there for you. Quite the eclectic mix. We got Ice Cube, we got Weezer, we got Marshmello.
That's pretty good.
Who's the dude that is in the Snoop Dogg Corona commercials?
Bad Bunny.
Look at you.
Yeah.
I don't know him either. I know him from the Corona commercials.
Right.
And I know he must be somebody because he's in the Corona commercials, but I don't know who.
Jamie knows. She stays up to date. I don't understand where she finds the time. Because anytime something comes on a commercial that's top 40-ish and she'll like hum along like, I'm like, what? How do you know this?
It's interesting. Jamie's a uniquely talented individual, musically and otherwise.
Oh boy, here comes an insult.
Yeah. She's a uniquely talented individual, musically and otherwise. I'm ready to admit that without question. She can sing, she can play instruments, so she's a more talented musician, if you want to use
everything
the term,
from the clarinet to the marimba, you name it.
Than I am, right? She can. I can play chords and keep time on the drums. That's about it. But she can actually play a bunch of different things. So I would never insult her musically as somebody who plays music.
And then
you agree with me on this, I think.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so you need to pal up before you deliver the hammer. I see how it is. You're gonna get me in trouble.
There's some shaky tastes involved in her repertoire.
Yeah, well, she's more open-minded. I'll put it that way.
Oh, that's one
a
way
strength of hers.
That's one way of saying it.
It's a strength.
That's a smart way of saying it on the air, certainly.
I'm a pro.
Yeah. I'm sure off the air you think he is 100% right. There's a lot of shakiness. There's a lot of shakiness.
There may have been a road trip or two in which I changed the dial.
Oh, I would hope.
Yeah.
You got to declare in that situation ahead of time. What are we doing here with music? When you have disparate opinions on music to the extent that is possible in your marriage.
Well, she doesn't like pop country though, so it never goes
thank
there.
God you don't have to listen to any
there.
of these Pepsi commercials that we have as after football game shows. Right? You don't have to worry about all that nonsense. So no Georgia Florida line rocking in your car. Thank God. You'd kill yourself.
I draw the line.
Now
there.
you would have to say, I can't do it. Play some Marshmello. Like you could. There's
Right.
just no chance that you could. Yeah.
Well, sometimes if there's like modern R&B, for example, I'm like, oh, so we're listening to Eminem then. That's a great idea. I think we should put some M on, maybe some Dre from the 90s. Like, you know, oh, so we're feeling this genre?
Okay, we'll go that route.
Let's do a better version of this.
Yeah.
Let's
But
go
yeah,
get
but
it.
you're not doing
Hell, let's listen to some 50 Cent.
Right.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
But if she wanted to play Bad Bunny, you'd go, we're not doing Bad Bunny in the car on a road trip.
No, and there was one where we were driving down to an airport, and I was like,
I'm just
what
saying.
is this?
And she knew it, and she probably knew the lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But she knows everything. She knows the lyrics to Hamilton, which I'm like, that is an absolute no. That is a non-starter. Like, no, man.
Here's the
we
thing.
are not listening to Hamilton.
Not in the car.
No.
No.
Now, when she drives by herself, I'll call her, check in, like she's driving over somewhere today.
Yeah.
I'll give her a call back. How was singing Hamilton? Were you singing Hamilton? It was great. I'm like,
yeah.
good.
Okay, fine. It was her car. I hope you
That's
let her
right.
do that. Yeah. Can you imagine?
Well, of course I do.
That'd be awesome if I called my wife while she was driving somewhere. Now, listen, just checking in. What are we playing in there? What are you doing? There's nothing shaky going on over there, is there?
Remember, we have a shared Spotify account. I can see what you're playing.
No, and I'm a jerk. I won't do it. I won't do it. You can't share my Spotify account.
Oh, of course not. We don't either.
No.
No
Good.
way.
Yeah. There's no sharing of that. You're not going to infiltrate
There's no joint bank account. There's no joint Spotify account.
We're
These are
not,
the two
we're
things
not
we don't do.
infiltrating my greatness with your slappy taste in music. We're not doing that. No.
Yeah. The bumper here has heavily influenced my Spotify, though, because I use mine.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
I know.
Which is
but
good.
usually when the daily mixes, I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah. You're like, this is the same as it was the other day. Yeah.
Right.
Well, but you can know. Anyway.
Why is Bobo O'Reilly always in my mix?
Which, given that starts the show every day, I don't listen to.
Right.
No, I love the Who.
Right. But when it comes on, do you skip it?
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great song.
Right.
But what are you gonna do? It's been our entry for many years.
I feel the butterflies of the show. I'm like, no. I'm golfing.
I don't want
Next.
to. I don't want to stress that. Yeah. No, I'll find a deeper cut. All right, let's gather. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Thank you for calling the Medicare Help Desk. How can we help you?
Can you help me choose the right coverage for myself and my wife?
We sure can. We can help you choose from Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, or standalone prescription drug plans from over 30 different insurance carriers.
How much does it cost? We have a fixed income and can't afford extra expenses.
At the Medicare Help Desk, the consultation is completely free. We are here to help.
Thank you, Medicare Help Desk.
Hi, this is Justin Colvin, founder of the Medicare Help Desk. In my 17 years of experience, I routinely speak to seniors who are overwhelmed by the multitude of coverage options available to them. That's why I created the Medicare Help Desk, a place for you to get clear answers to all your questions and make sense of all the confusion. I've helped thousands of clients, and I live right here in Tallahassee with my family. I am active in my church and wish to help and serve my community. If you need help navigating the Medicare landscape, I'm easy to find. Just visit the MedicareHelpDesk.com. That's the MedicareHelpDesk.com.
Refreshing and simple. 2 words you don't hear many people use to describe their experience going through the process of getting a home loan. That's what puts the Hamilton Home Loans experience in a category all their own. If you're buying or refinancing a home, Hamilton Home Loans will provide a personalized mortgage experience that is dedicated to making the process refreshingly simple. It all begins with an initial consultation with an experienced Hamilton Home Loans advisor to find out what your goals are in order to find the right mortgage to suit your specific needs. Then, your personal home loan advisor will take you through all the steps from application, underwriting, approval, and closing, all the way to the front steps of your new home. Once you've experienced the Hamilton Home Loan process, you can be a customer for life and never have to pay lender fees again. For first responders, nurses, physician assistants, teachers, active and retired military, ask about the Hamilton for Heroes program. Personalized attention with your needs put first. Now that's refreshingly simple. Find out more at HamiltonHomeLoans.com. That's HamiltonHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 200719.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works over time with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach hose-in. Purchase Wet and Forget in store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
Angie's List is now Angie, your home for everything home. With Angie, you could cross your next project off your to-do list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, and we'll handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. Or browse reviews, compare quotes from pros, and connect instantly, all for free. For everything from routine maintenance to a dream remodel. Because however you want your project done, we'll get it done. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeffman Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
My goodness. Jeff and Tom, NFL draft a week from tonight, and you can bet on players where they'll be drafted. Jermaine Johnson over under 9.5 picks. Go Noles, Tall Boys, Beer. Thanks for the contribution, Eric, and appreciate the chat room props. You know, I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, thank you. The betting on the draft is a low-key kick-ass thing.
Oh.
An under-the-radar kick-ass thing.
Yet another chapter in your repertoire.
Why would we not? How great is that? How great is that to be able to bet props on the draft? The draft is already awesome. Let's just make it awesomer. Let's just add gambling to the mix.
Let's parlay
Yes,
three
please.
dudes. 3 dudes over unders. There you go.
Right. It's a glorious thing. So we're a week out, and he's not wrong. Eric is correct. You can do this. I just saw, what's his name? Ikem Ekwonu or whatever his name, Ekwonu, the offensive lineman from NC State. Isn't that his name?
That guy, yeah.
Yeah, that dude, who I think is overrated. So you can get like over 3.5 on his draft position. If you don't think he's going top 3, you think he's going to go 4 or later.
You got 2 defense, so it's about 3 because you're getting 2 defensive players to start the draft, according to all the experts.
Right, so that's his number is 3.5 in Vegas. I can't let my personal views of him being overrated and susceptible to the speed rush get in the way of my betting. But I just think it's awesome to sit back and kind of, okay, look at that. The number's 3.5. I like it. I'm going to do this. Jermaine Johnson, I saw a mock today that had Jermaine Johnson going to Seattle 9th overall. And I'm just so excited for that kid. It's important for FSU because he is directly associated not with Georgia at all or of his previous stops, but solely with, because his great year is with us, ACC Defensive Player of the Year. It's going to be important for FSU. It's a marginal uptick in exposure and positivity, but it does matter. I mean, we've had so few people drafted high lately because the program has sucked. So now we've got a guy, and he is a kick-ass player and did wonders for us this past year, and he's going to go potentially top 10. That's huge. Good.
So you would take the under, or are you actually going to play that particular prop? I would take the over on Jermaine.
I haven't decided yet. So Garrett Wilson draft position, I'm looking at him right now, 10.5. If you're going to look at Charles Cross draft position, under 7.5. Derek Stingley Jr., 12.5 draft position. It's all out there, baby. It's all out there.
See Pickett out of curiosity? Because that's a tough one for them to set the number on.
That's a real tough one for them to set the number on. And I didn't pull him up just yet. I was looking at it different. I'll go through this and find some here.
Boy, we got our topic for next Thursday.
Well, I mean, how perfect is it, right? What a great thing. Oh, man. Florida's screwing this up. State of Florida just screwed this all up. We're missing out on all kinds of money. I mean, I'm concerned for the state of Florida, Tom. It's not my personal preference. It's the state of Florida that I'm worried
objectively
about.
speaking, the state's a mess right now everywhere. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we knew this is a long form conversation about when the Hard Rock app came live. And we
glorious 10 days or whatever it was.
It was a little longer than that. It was awesome. I mean, that was one of the great apps ever made. And
their customer service was kick ass because I had a problem getting logged in and synced to my account for the whatever, I had a code, and within 10 minutes it was fixed. Like their customer service, they knew with the rollout there were going to be problems. We have to be ready. The first impression has to be strong. They nailed it. They absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, they did a really good job. Not only with that, they also did a really good job. And I thought it was strange, but they did a fantastic job of giving everybody their money back that was still locked up in that when they got shut down.
And apparently, if you had long-term props like futures, those are still live. So for those people, they could still check on their futures if the payout was after the expiration date. As long as you made the bet before it closed down, it's still in play.
I'm friends with a lobbyist who told me ahead of time, get your money out. This is about to be done. And so that was weeks before it happened. And as we were talking, I said, oh, come on, don't do that. I was in denial. I denied it. He would know. He was working and
hey.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, Jeff, it's getting shut down. You need to pull your money out. I don't want to believe that. I'm leaving. You cannot say that to me.
That's your fact, sir.
Yeah,
my fact is it's staying open.
Because I wanted to.
That's correct.
But it didn't work. So in long term, this will end up working out when they push it through again and get it fixed. But in the interim, because we'll have more options. But in the interim, we're screwed. It's just like the NIL stuff. They've screwed us there too. Get it together, everybody. Come on, man. Why would you hamstring?
Well, maybe that's the one thing to come out of the war with Disney that's going on right now is that they're going to be less apt at the Capitol building to worry about pissing off Disney for gambling money. Yeah, you can cry all you want about it. There you go, mouse. Here comes an app.
We need to get this done. We need to get this back through because there's potential here. Hopefully in next year's draft, we're having a different conversation. If you're looking at next year's draft, give me a guy that you think on the roster for Florida State. We did rosters. Give me a guy that you love to make a similar climb. Now remember, remember this. Yes. When Jermaine Johnson got here, yes, we both were awed by his physical presence. Day one, I told you, obviously I got a chance to meet him early on, talk to him. Smart young man, hardworking, committed, focused, all those things. I came away very impressed. But I also, when I looked at him, I was like, that's prototypical. That's what you want at defensive end. He, as I like to say, looks the part. We don't have enough of those kinds of guys. It's a shame that the one guy that jumped off the field at me within 5 seconds of surveying our personnel was, of course, a transfer. That's, from Georgia. He was the guy that I came on the air and said, if you took him without ever having seen him play a down of college football, let's say, and plopped him into the Alabama locker room, nobody would turn ahead thinking, what's he doing here? Because he would look like all the other guys at Alabama. He would look like a pro prospect. All right. Then he went out and played probably well beyond what we thought he was going to do. We knew he had a chance to be good. We knew he had a chance to perhaps transform this defense and certainly elevate it, but we didn't know he was going to be that good. He ended up being a dominant force that changed our defense, in particular in the second half of the season, just really unblockable at times. All right. Is there a guy who has been upwardly mobile, whose body is beginning to transform, who is playing at a high level, that if he makes a similar type jump and surprises us, is on that path to go first round on this defense?
As a surprise, no, because I think it's the two interior defensive linemen that could do, but that wouldn't be a surprise. There's been a steady development to their, I mean, they're really good. Cooper, for one reason, you put him on probably a 3-down lineman front, probably playing with 0.
Yeah, he's huge.
But then Lovett, there are some days where you go,
he's a really good player.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so Fabian Lovett would have been my answer more than Coop. Fabian Lovett, who I think Coop's a good player, and he's going to be good for us this year. And he was, when he was dialed in this year at spring, he was pretty unblockable. I mean, he gets the ones, it didn't matter. Nobody could really stop him when he was 100%. Fabian is, there's something with that continues to get better. I mean, he was better each week we were out there.
I've never seen it, but I'm sure that Fabian is excellent on a speed bag in a boxing game.
Man.
His hands are so fast.
Quick. Uses his hands better than any of the other linemen we have by far. Yeah, and he's violent. Really violent. I expect a huge year out of him. Like, for all the negatives that we get mired down in here on the show, and there's lots of things that we have to have realistic conversations about, including W's and L's next when we end up having a solving for the future segment with our friends at ISF. But for all the negative things that we get into, there were real positives this spring. And I don't know if I said it enough, but he was a guy that every time you watched him, you went, okay, he's going to have a really good year for us. Hopefully his presence and domination and continued growth opens some things up on the outside. Maybe they have to double him and we get a little bit lucky on the edge. And so that the talent drop off there by losing Jermaine Johnson. Yeah, there is. There's no getting around that. You're not better because you lost Jermaine Johnson. But if Fabian continues to blossom the way that he is, and Coop has a big season trying to get drafted, trying to make himself some money, which I think he's going to, you got a chance to get some more production out there on the edge because you have athleticism and you've got, I think you have talent there. It's just not Jermaine Johnson talent.
Yeah, the wonder is, and the question mark is, what does Dennis Briggs look like at the start of fall?
Right.
Because you didn't see a ton of him.
Didn't see a ton of him here. And that is the unknown. And I like him. I really liked him as a football player a year ago. And I like where I think he's headed. How quickly can he get there off those injuries?
It's a big amount of work for him to do this offseason. He and Coach Storms, that's a lot of work. I'm not saying that he's got like Charlton kinds of weight he needs to lose, but it's just, if you're going to be playing that position, you got to look a little bit different, but you got to be healthy enough to do all those workouts. So it's a big summer for him.
Yeah, that was a golly, I'm still mad. I'm still mad at Louisville. I hope we get somebody thrown out of the game for a late cheap shot on the road at Louisville. I don't want to take a guy out for the year because it's not the kid's fault. But I do want to repay what occurred.
Who's the perfect candidate on the defensive roster to do that? Because I already have one.
Somebody that you're not going to need the following week.
Steven Dix.
It's a great candidate. Don't need him.
But we do need him.
But built.
On this Friday night, we do.
You know, that might be a crown of the helmet under their chin early in the game to a starting quarterback. What are you going to do?
You open the door, counselor.
What are you going to do?
Yep.
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
The Tallahassee Police Youth Athletic League is now accepting applications for the Youth Basketball Summer League. The season will run from June 6th to the 27th, with all games being played at the Jack McLean Community Center. Games will be played every Monday and Wednesday from 6 to 9 p.m. The league is open to boys ages 10 to 15 and girls 10 to 12. The registration fee is $35, and the forms to register can be downloaded at talgov.com. Both Tallahassee hospitals are reporting low COVID-19 hospitalizations as of this week. Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare has 3 patients. The number of hospitalizations over the past week at TMH has hovered around 2, but has dipped to 1 and risen to 3 at times. Officials with HCA Florida Capital Hospital said they have had 0 COVID-19 patients for a little over a week. The hospital added that this is the first time since March 2020 that the number has been at 0. This is Rachel Linnea with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. High temperatures reach up to 82 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies. Winds out of the east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows around 59 tonight, partly cloudy. Clear skies tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 84. Highs around 86 Saturday under sunny skies. 88 Sunday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 80.
See Nice Tire and Auto Service at 4792 Bluntstown Highway today. The ASC trained technicians at Nice take the guesswork out of fixing your car. That's why wherever you see the Goodyear sign, you'll find what you want in tires and service. From preventative maintenance to a major overhaul and everything in between, you name it. Plus, Nice's services are backed by a nationwide limited warranty. Stop by Nice Tire and Auto Service. 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
We need to have history. We need to have literature. It deserves an explanation. We don't need to be promoting lifestyles that come into play for your average elementary school.
Well, I had an experience with this. When my daughter was in school, her teacher gave her a book to read, but then she asked me what the C word is.
That was in the book.
That was in the book.
Okay, so talking about the C word. So you're talking about conservatives, right?
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. Jeff Cameron Show is sponsored by the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans. Great rates, cutting-edge technology, and transparent communication is the recipe for a 5-star mortgage experience at FSUHomeLoans.com.
For the future, and we do that every Thursday. ISF, we talk about not only what they do across the state, and really across the nation. Obviously, they clients all around the country and have been relied on for more than 40 years. And sometimes I give you, examples, specific examples, to help you better understand the kinds of things they do. And one of those things I mentioned before, but I'll talk about it here, a project that they helped on. They partnered with DEO to assist those who were seeking reemployment assistance during the pandemic. So relatively recently, I should say, and into the future. So ISF conducted a full audit of the DEO Connect system, which is responsible for processing unemployment and reemployment assistance claims. And there was a surge in usage, obviously, of the site when COVID hit. And then that revealed system improvement areas that were necessary. So using ISF's people, process, and technology framework, ISF outlined recommendations to serve an immediate need and long-term vision. Of course, they did. They were able to infrastructurally transition to the cloud, obviously make things less bogged down, move quickly, more efficiently, cost-effectively. All those things matter greatly. They modernized their system components. With ISF's recommendations, DEO is prepared to face the future, and folks got their money in a timely fashion. And that's important. That's important.
That's right.
All right. Hit it. We said we'd do it, and we're going to do it right now with our friends at ISF.
Wins.
All right. How you doing?
Losses.
Damn it! We lost. We fucking super lost, man.
Where do we triumph? Where doth thou fall?
It's funny, when we do W's and L's, very popular segment on the show over the years, you never know what's going to work. You never know why it's going to work. But you try things out, really almost to amuse yourself. And then you go, hey, that's a hit. Something I've discovered, Tom, is that when we do W's and L's, it really is dependent not just on what we project talent-wise and health-wise and when games fall on what date and what time and all of that, but also our moods, just our general mood on that day. Did you wake up feeling optimistic? Were you a little down in the dumps that day? Were you pissed off that we got information we didn't get, let's say in this case, MIMS? Or are you still buoyed by what you saw in the spring and that carried over to help offset the disappointment of the set of circumstances that led to that non-get, if you will? I'm detecting a MIMS hangover.
Uh-oh.
I think it's there. I think it's very real.
And you've already found 5 wins.
Oh, I found 5 wins if we coach them up a little bit right off the bat, right? Just because you have more talent. Bigger, stronger, faster.
No Jacksonville State moments, though. Necessary.
Can't have to.
Necessary.
Well, you've lost your mulligan. That's
you do
it.
that again.
That's it. You do it again. You lose a game like that again, I'm off of you for life. That's it. We got to go. We got to go at that point. I'm done. There's no more wiggle room. The wiggle room is no more. We're in a straitjacket now. Let's get focused. Let's go. Duquesne, 1-0.
Agree.
In many ways, this game determines, can I get to 8?
Oh, all right. The chips are in the middle of the table.
September the 4th in Noles. A very tired Jeff and Tom. Days of gambling on end behind us. Perhaps imbibing too often and for too long. Bleary-eyed as they may be, they enter into Superdome where we watch Florida State.
I won't be there. I'll be doing a watch-along, but I'll be in New Orleans.
Tied at 24. 5 minutes to play. 1st and 10, Noles on their own 32. Is this the moment where it all turns in the right direction, or do we come up short by an errant 3rd and 5 pass in the middle of the field, only to watch LSU drive the football down after a shanked punt and a field goal made?
I love you put Jordan Travis in the situation that you don't trust him in. I know where this one's going.
Perhaps he connects shockingly to one of the 14 tight ends that I've discovered can't play over the last 2 years. And the Noles keep the drive alive. Then on 3rd and 13, a scramble left. He makes a linebacker miss in a phone booth and goes for 14, and the Noles drive is still alive, and hope remains intact. What a moment. Loss.
That's what I thought. It's a win.
Oh! Win! Noles get the win. What a drive.
Had no business going to overtime with them last year if you're talking about talent disparity. If we're grading on the curve for Jacksonville State, you also have to grade on the curve that he and Brian Kelly, he likes what he sees out of Brian Kelly's schemes.
They're jabbing. They're going back and forth. Here we go.
And Kelly's got worse talent this year than he did at Notre Dame last. Give me the win. 2-0.
All right, you're 2-0. I'm 1-1. The Noles, with a must-win scenario under Jeff Cameron's predictions, now head to Louisville, where they must remove from their psyche the bitter disappointment of a close loss to LSU and find a way to pick themselves up on a Friday night, September the 16th at Louisville. A drunken, rowdy, largely criminal, ignorant crowd cheering on Louisville.
Largely criminal?
Oh, you've been to Louisville.
Never.
It's a crap town. The Noles having to overcome not only a filthy city, degenerates abound.
But you would go there before going to South Bend, right? To Louisville? Oh, it's that bad.
It's all right. It's no place to, I mean, if we're picking places, I'm not like, hey, let's roll out to Louisville. Noles do bounce back. They get the win. It's a big win. Noles win and cover. I don't even know what the number is, but they cover.
All right.
And the Noles are 2-1.
It will be a debaucherous Saturday after FSU Louisville on a Friday night because Tallahassee will be celebrating something it hasn't in a long time.
A 3-0 start to the season?
The one. That's the one.
How about that? All right, so I got us 2-1. You got us 3-0. We come on home and welcome Boston College. Yes, a veteran presence at quarterback, but not enough talent. And in the end, Florida State wins by 2 touchdowns.
Only because the refs kept it that close. It's another win. 4-0 for the Noles.
Oh!
The polls are saying, who is this? An old friend from years past.
We should have seen it coming. Welcome back. Welcome back to a ritzy neighborhood that is the top 25 Florida State. Would you like some lobster? I would, sir. We've been eating dirt. Dirt. While smoking crack, we have been really jettisoned to the outer reaches of our society the last 5 years.
Eating dirt and smoking crack. All right.
Face down in the muck.
Keeping ourselves busy.
Tough times. It's the only way to distract ourselves from the misery. But now there's lobster before me. Don't mind if I do. Gonna get off the crack and stop eating dirt with a big win over Boston College. Now, Wake Forest comes to town on October the 1st.
Oh, man. College game day if the preseason polls have Wake Forest where they do and Wake continues to win.
Revenge is ours. The Noles big over Wake Forest.
Whoa.
Get you some, Wake. You cannot sustain this place amongst the top 25. That is not who you are. It's not your DNA. You're a golf school. Go back to being a golf school. Let Arnold Palmer, well, he's dead. He can't come. But if he did, he would come back. Celebrate your golfing tradition.
All right. So that's Curtis Strange, too, right?
Lots of them. All the family of
the Haas's.
The Haas's.
They're playing in the Jay's playing in the Zurich.
Yeah.
Jay's playing in it at 70 years old.
Yeah, probably kicking ass.
So you got us 4-1.
All the Haas's do. 4-1.
I agree. Unfortunately, this is a score fest, and we can't keep up with them. The offense just can't get to the 40s like Wake Forest is going to do it.
What a disappointing day with our defense.
It is. We'll still be ranked, but it'll be like 24th.
Well, that enters a tough time on the schedule because Florida State, according to Tom Lang, is fresh off a loss against Wake Forest again. And as we seek to pick up the pieces at 4-1, we got to take it on down the road to NC State. Let's hope the fair isn't in town. Those carnies love it up there.
Didn't I confirm that the fair was in town that weekend last time? I think I did.
Urine bombs abound. The fair with cotton candy, perhaps the most disgusting, vile invention ever made. Cotton candy has always sucked.
Have you noticed that Lindor for the Mets, his hair looks like the blue cotton candy? Looks phenomenal.
Sugar on a stick. Florida State goes on the road and falls to NC State.
I mean, when did we go up there and really win?
Even when we're good, we don't.
Even in 2014,
yeah.
That was Jacoby Brissett pulling the Neo in the Matrix, and that was a really close game.
Yeah.
Jameis had the high ankle sprain that affected him for months after.
Yes. You picking a loss there too, huh?
Yeah, that's a loss. Yeah.
All right, we're 4-2. Clemson comes to town. Can we block them? Big question, can we block them? I sense an energy, a fan base thirsty, starving, dehydrated, longing. They carry Florida State to a night game victory over Clemson. The losing streak is no more. Noles bounce back and save the season with a big win over Clemson.
And Dabo challenges a fan to a fight as he's walking out, signaling the end of his time at Clemson. I agree with you. This is a huge win to push us to 5-2 and feeling very good once again.
After the game, Dabo blames it on progressives. Georgia Tech at Florida State.
I held my breath with what you were going to say, and really, in a scale of 1 to 5, that was like a 2. I'm like, all right, thank you.
Georgia Tech at Florida State. It turns into another loss for Georgia Tech for an institution that has often kept it close and or beaten Florida State when they had no right to. This is the year that all stops. My niece, who is a senior at Georgia Tech, meets disappointment as Uncle Jeff calls to rub it in their face about the 38-7 win the Noles just laid on Georgia Tech.
I hope it's 38-7 because this is another game that's sneaky rabid from the fan base. We're about tired of the Yellow Jackets. First of all, we should play every year.
No business.
Always, though. Always.
Big win for the Noles. So we're 6-2, Tom?
6-2.
All right, we head down to Miami. Revenge on the mind. Speaking of criminal fan bases, Miami will be, for the first time all year, sold out as the Noles come to town November the 5th at the Hard Rock. A lot of DMX, Awful lot of posturing, fake tough guy, wannabe gangster moments in the stands from Miami fans, reveling in their revenge as they take down Florida State.
But do they?
I say yes.
Cristobal sometimes in games like this can do a little pucker act.
Well, he didn't pucker last year at Oregon against Utah. He just got his ass beat.
Yep.
There's no puckering, just an ass beat.
He puckers here. The Noles go on the road and are 2-0 against Van Dyke.
Stunning turn of events.
Van Dimes is nothing but a sack of pennies.
I don't think you have conviction in that prediction. It doesn't feel real to me.
Well, I mean, last year's game was a mere 4th and 14 away from going the other way. So it's going to be a close one. We're going to be smiling.
All right, you have a 7-2. I have a 6-3. We head on the road to Syracuse, November the 12th. Big time beat down in the Carrier Dome. The Noles roll big, and people begin to wonder aloud in places that matter, like the internet. Have we finally turned the corner, lived up to our billing as the great football power we are at Florida State? And why, you ask, is that question posited? Because the Noles are beating the teams they're supposed to beat, and that is the first sign of taking a step towards healing.
Closer than it should be, coming off of the emotional win down at Coral Gables. It's a tight one, but we do win it. Something crazy like 17-16.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
So people have enough to doubt us still, which is good.
All right, so you've got us 8-2.
Oh,
Good
there's
Lord.
our 8. We've hit our quota.
I'm 7-3 at this point. Louisiana, who I would have dubbed as a problem, is not this year because Billy Napier is the coach on the other sideline. The following week, not that week, Louisiana comes in. They lose big, as they should, back in their rightful place. Irrelevance, a town they are familiar with.
Yeah, ho-hum, like 38-20. It's nothing great, nothing terrible.
We're not showing anything before the big Friday night Florida game.
That will be our explanation and take on it, yes. So 9-2.
My God, Tom. What a turnaround for Norvell and staff. Recruits are taking notice. I have us 8-3. Florida comes to town. I want to say on a Friday night it's going to happen. Raucous atmosphere. Cat 5 maintained.
Ooh, yeah.
Without question.
Apparently that morning, too, the United States will be playing England in the World Cup.
Oh, my God.
It's a busy day. Busy day.
In a game nobody remembers. Florida State on the 25th. It goes to overtime, Tom.
Oh,
we're going to OT.
No.
We're going to OT.
My heart.
A 46-yard field goal for the Noles ties it at 31, and we're off to OT.
Urban Meyer's heart could not take this.
There's a strip club nearby. He's going to go and check on his grandkids there. Noles lose in overtime, and the dream temporarily set aside. But 8-4 is a fine campaign, and progress is on the docket.
Given that we've only got 3.5 minutes to go in the show, I will keep it brief.
One of the great all-time solving the future ISF segments ever done. 30 minutes long.
We get to 10 wins, but in the bowl game, it's a loss against Florida. Can't win them all.
Yeah, well, you're right. And from there, we go to MLB probables, Tom. If you would, cue it up.
Man, I can't do it that quick.
Let's go.
I ain't Twister.
Make it happen.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching probables?
North Florida Payroll Services. Those are my guys. Locally owned for nearly 15 years, offering payroll and HR services, including full online applicant onboarding and integration into payroll. Save your company money ahead today. NorthFloridaPayroll.com. Giants, Mets, bottom of the 6th. Mets up big, 5-1. Anthony DeScalfini victimized today. Carlos Carrasco pitching for the Mets. White Sox, Guardians, Dylan Cease, Zach Plesac. That game's 3-1 in the 6th. Guardians. Yankees, Tigers in the top of the 7th. That game is 1-0 Detroit. All right. Jordan Montgomery, Michael Pineda.
Did he get 3,000? We probably would have heard that by now.
Oh, yeah, we would have heard that. Yeah. Blue Jays, Red Sox, Kevin Gausman, Tanner Houck. Twins, Royals, Joe Ryan, Zach Greinke. Orioles, A's, Tyler Wells, Paul Blackburn, D-backs, Nats, Zach Davies, Josh Rogers, Cardinals, Marlins, Jordan Hicks, Pablo Lopez. He of the 087 Lopez family. Pirates, Cubs, Bryce Wilson, Mark Leiter Jr. How about that? Mark Leiter Jr. Tom.
That makes me feel old. First Mets game I ever saw in person at Shea Stadium, Al Leiter was the pitcher.
Mark Leiter currently has an 18.90 ERA. Not like his father.
Al would have a better ERA right now.
Rangers, Mariners, Taylor Hearn, and Marco Gonzalez, and that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. All right, we cruised through that comfortably. Got everybody in there.
That was nice.
Yeah, that was well done.
Well executed.
Yeah, thanks to everybody. By the way, maybe as you were listening to all that, you thought to yourself, I need a home loan. Well, give my friends Chad and Shannon a phone call, the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans, 844-FSU-LOAN, or check them out online, FSUHomeLoans.com. You want a 5-star lending experience, right? That's what you want. You want a home loan experience that the weight of it doesn't keep you up at night. It's efficient.
Oh, they're always a 10-win season.
Understand. Chad and Shannon are going to get you there, baby. You're going to get the loan you need. 844-FSU-LOAN or FSUHomeLoans.com. You guys can discuss when you call them to get your loan about Jeff and Tom's W's and L's today.
They'll talk about it.
They will. They're partners with the Jeff Cameron Show. And we love them. They're great Noles and really good at their jobs. Hamilton Home Loans. Hey, so if they did call and make that home loan call with a Nole to a Nole and say, hey, what about the Noles? They'd say, hey, Jeff had them going 8-4. Tom had them going 9-3.
That's the second time I think we both settled on 9-3 and 8-4. It's going to be a good fall.
What a fall indeed. Finish the year ranked? What's that like?
Oh.
Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a great day. Talk to you later.